Welcome to It Starts With Whiskey, the podcast where every conversation begins with a sip of whiskey and takes us on a journey through the diverse landscapes of life. No conversation is off limits. From thought-provoking debates to lighthearted banter, expect a healthy dose of controversy as we navigate through the complexities of life. I'm Ryan.
I'm Thee.
And I'm JoJo.
So grab your favorite glass, pour yourself a dram, and join us on It Starts With Whiskey, where every episode is an adventure waiting to unfold.
Well, welcome back to episode 2, Single Malts and Sky Miles. Should have some good content for you guys today, some fun conversations and a lot of stories going on. So, Joe, what's been going on with you since the last time we spoke?
Ooh, well, I've had to go to Seattle, and that was a fun trip. Not as long as I would have liked, but I got to experience a lot of beverages, restaurants, and then I had to do a quick turn and burn to Dallas this week. So I was there for about 24 hours. And then on a side note, I got to go to a volleyball game with you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, let's go Rise.
Yep. And
You guys going tomorrow?
Dina is.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'll be there with Lex.
Yeah.
Yep.
I have to go back to Seattle. So I gave the ticket to Athena so Lex could go. So that was fun. I got to go to a hockey game in Grand Rapids, so that was fun. So just staying busy with work, and my social calendar has been fun and full. But I love doing all the little sporting events, and I bought tickets for the Grand Rapids Gold game. So the three of us are going.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
I know you did.
It's on the calendar, right?
Yep.
Yep.
One of the calendars.
One of them. What about you, Thee?
Oh, let's see. It's been, a couple of weeks since we last recorded?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we got together at Ryan's for the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah. I forgot
about that. That was fun.
I was wondering who was going to catch that. Yep. We were here last weekend together.
Little hot tub, a little whiskey, some chili.
Good times, good wings, good friends. It was a really good time. Thank you for hosting that, Ryan.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was good.
Yep. We let's see what else has been going on. I've been just plugging away at my schoolwork, doing an interesting project I'd love to tell you guys about. It's kind of coinciding really well with this podcast that we're working on. It's helping me with the technology side of understanding these things, but thank God we have Brian for the rest of it.
You know it.
But I'm always looking for help. Always looking for help.
I've been playing around with some things, so I hope to help contribute with some of that. So,
Cool.
What else has been going on? Yeah, like Joe said, we went to the volleyball game again, and other than that, nothing too big on my end. Work's work. It's crazy right now. Got a 3-day weekend this weekend. How about you guys?
Be quiet.
Not me. I'm leaving tomorrow.
I finally win one.
I head to Chicago tomorrow after the Rise game for 2 days, and then driving out to North Liberty, Iowa, of all places.
Woohoo.
Get to go to Coralville and North Liberty. North Liberty for some work. Other than that, things are quiet around here.
Yeah.
So with that, we'll head into some whiskey news, Athena.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, hey, let's see. Let's take a look at some of the headlines going through our inboxes this week in Suntory price increase. So Suntory has announced that some of its whiskeys will see price increases from 36% to 56%. These increases are scheduled to take effect for bottles shipped after April 1st of this year.
Oh, wow.
I wonder if that's April 1st when they ship from Japan or wherever they're shipping from.
That's
a substantial increase, I think.
Yeah.
that is. We better go out.
Go get some whiskey now.
We better get prepped for our Japanese whiskey episode
You
now.
know it. It's stored at Ryan's.
Actually,
Okay.
maybe it's an investment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Stay
there
tuned
you
for that
go.
episode.
What do you have, Joe?
Well, in whiskey market size, LinkedIn predicts that the whiskey market will be worth around $144 billion by 2032. So it's growing at about a 4.9% compound annual growth rate from 2023 to 2032.
And then Statista market forecast is projecting it will reach 67.9 billion in 2024, with they're saying an overall growth rate of 3.86% from 24 to 2028. But as I'm reading through some of this, some of the things that came to my mind is the amount of increase going on in whiskey consumption. How is that impacting the workplace?
Right?
So I looked into that a little bit, and according to the CDC, the drain on the American economy is around $249 billion
Holy moly.
from alcohol consumption, alcoholism, and impact. And they broke that down. 28 billion of that is healthcare costs. Workplace productivity, $179 billion. That is insane.
That is what, 660? That's almost 60% of that total price tag of $249 billion.
Yep.
Yeah.
Workplace productivity.
Oh my goodness.
$13 billion in collisions. I guess that
Auto.
collisions. Work truck collisions
I
in the
mean,
warehouse.
Yeah.
And criminal justice makes up $25 billion of that. So that's I
The
might
legal
want to do.
system always gets a chunk.
I might want to do some more research because that's kind of intriguing
Yes, it is.
statistics.
I think that could be an episode subject, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously healthcare. I mean, if you've known anyone who suffers from alcoholism, it's a serious addiction. We have a good time here. We drink safely. We handle things responsibly, and it's not a easy question to answer when you have to deal with whether you're addicted.
Right.
To anything. But alcohol and the need for healthcare it's tremendous.
Well, I can tell you that just trying to go dry through January was a challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't think I'm an alcoholic by any stretch, but doing this podcast and research and stuff, I had, I think, a couple drinks. So unfortunately, I didn't make it the whole month of January, but
You did a good job, though.
but I did
Yes,
pretty
you
good. I did.
Yeah.
What else is out there?
Well, 18-year-old Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey from the Heaven Hill Heritage Collection will launch nationally and internationally on a limited basis in early March.
Wow.
Good luck, Jeff.
Yeah.
While you're,
Hunt.
Yeah.
Hunt.
we want a bottle of that to try.
Yeah, we will be on the lookout for sure.
I am a big fan of the Heaven Hill 7-year bottled and bond.
7 years.
We weren't able to get that in Grand Rapids or in Michigan until recently. It was allocated, but now it's on all the shelves, like $49, I think. To me, it's one of my daily, not that I drink daily, but so to speak, daily sippers.
Gotcha.
If I'm looking or take it somewhere
Right.
for other people to try.
Yeah.
When I first started out, I thought, wow, I'm going to go to Kentucky for work, right? And I'll be able to find everything in Kentucky, bourbon-wise.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah,
Tell me what you want.
That's what I thought. Epic fail. Epic fail. That's not the way it is. But I thought that when I first started out. So
Yeah, so we hate to break any newbies out there, hearts, but chances are you're not getting what you think you're going to get when you go to the store.
Yeah.
But
That's
if
why
you
it's
do,
okay.
good luck.
yeah.
You can try new things and then join in the fun of the hunt and find
Yep.
yourself some friends who travel, which we'll get into shortly. But what do we got going on with today's tasting, Ryan?
Yeah, so tying in with our travel, Joe and I get to Denver occasionally.
Yeah.
And I think we both have done the tour at Stranahan's
Yep.
in Denver.
Yep.
And they're an American single malt distillery, and they make some really good shit, I think.
Oh, man. Wow, it's good.
But we'll get into the tasting there. But just a couple quick things that I found out while I was there and doing a little more research is what exactly makes it single malt. So general rules are it has to be made 100% from malted barley, mashed and aged in the United States. This is for American single malt. At a single distillery and distilled to a maximum of 160 proof. And it must be aged in oak casks that are no larger than 700 liters. Notice the difference there between bourbon and this. Bourbon is new oak. It does not say it's required to have new oak for this. And then it must be bottled at a minimum of 80 proof.
So 80 to 160.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some of you might say that sounds very similar to Scotch.
Yes, someone would.
Someone would. So what's similar to Scotch, what's not similar to Scotch? Both are distilled from malted barley, aged in oak barrels, and must be bottled at a minimum of 80 proof. But differences are Scotch must be made in Scotland. American must be made in America.
Yeah.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Single malt Scotch must come from a single Scottish distillery. And the malting process for American and Scotch malts are similar, but the significant differences lies in the peat.
Interesting.
I've never met this guy, Pete,
Yeah, me
but
either.
He must know a
one
lot.
of these days I'm going to find him.
I like it.
But
I
I'm
like
not a
it.
big Pete fan on the Scotch side.
You know, is it just me or okay, so single malt Scotch must come from a single Scottish distillery. Isn't that the same thing as a single malt American whiskey? Must come from a
Except-
single distillery?
Right. They have to come from the same distillery, except one's Scotland and one's American.
Well, when you said difference, I was like, that's kind of actually a similarity besides where location. It's
Right.
actually a similarity, and I'm like, I missed something.
Thank you, Chat GPT, for
For
your
today's
information
research,
today.
right?
Yeah. Okay, so
Yes.
What do
To
we
the
got
good
here,
part.
Ryan? What do we got?
So in front of us, we have three of the varieties of Stranahans. We have the Blue Peak, the Diamond Peak, and the original single malt. Little bit about Stranahans. They're a small batch. They still distill in small batches. Try to stay that way. And if you're ever in Denver, I highly recommend going and doing the tour. You get to sample, and they'll do some different, seasonal things or experimental batches as well. So, what are we drinking today, Athena?
Well, Ryan, we've all kind of come to the conclusion we're going to try the Diamond Peak from Stranahan's. And just right off the website to give our listeners a little information. So, Diamond Peak's second unique release highlights flavors that transcend traditional whiskey. Using a marriage of 5 to 8 year Stranahans, the liquid spends just over 2 years in casks that previously held the finest extra añejo tequila. The prized.
Ooh, I
Yeah.
thought I smelled tequila in there.
I know it.
Okay.
So,
You do.
here's a little bit about that they say about. Shall I read the flavor notes, or would you guys like to try it first and then?
Let's try
Let's
it.
try it.
Let's do that.
And then, yeah,
It does have a very nice caramely color to
it
it.
does. It's beautiful.
And I'm getting just a light essence of tequila.
Very light, but it's there.
Yeah.
Okay. Isn't that interesting? Like, because we haven't tried it yet, but we have smelled it, and now we're really smelling it. And after learning about that tequila, I think this is why we're
Now it's
not
more
reading-
prevalent
yes,
than it
this
was
is why we are
before.
not telling everyone about the flavor notes. I haven't even read them. Just brought up the website. Let's give it a go.
I'm not tasting tequila.
No,
No.
It has a light burn.
Very, very light.
and easy to sip. It has
It
a
is.
slightly sweet flavor
It's smooth.
and very smooth.
Very smooth.
I'm not getting that
None.
throat burn. That yeah,
That we get from bourbon.
yeah,
This is really good.
yeah. It's really nice.
They're doing something right over there.
Are you guys getting any floral notes at all?
I'm not.
I'm getting the sweet.
I am getting a little, just a hint of floral notes.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's
Okay.
the sun shining here in Michigan. I might have spring on my mind. I don't know.
This is our third day of sunshine in the last 3.5 months. So,
Yeah.
okay. So what does the website say for us?
All right. So let's read word for word. The resulting whiskey is a burst of brightness that's herbal, peppery,
Peppery.
and has just the right amount of agave sweetness.
Damn, we were pretty good.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
I didn't catch. Peppery is right.
Yes.
I didn't say it, but I agree. I agree with that assessment, but not like a harsh peppery.
No.
It's just a really nice flavor.
Yeah, it's really super good.
But yep, that's that rough kind of oversight. There's lots of information on the nose, peppery and floral, softly layered with butterscotch.
Oh, I do.
That's the nose.
I'm getting the butterscotch, but I do get a tequila
I get a tequila.
Yeah.
smell.
You know, it was weird because I was smelling and I'm like, why am I smelling tequila? That's just bizarre. I'm like, Joe, get your head out of the gutter. Because I was drinking tequila in Seattle. I flex. I do, yeah. But
We know that, Joe.
I know.
We won't go into the
I
other
know,
flexing.
I know.
But
But that makes sense. It's good. I really like it.
you notice we did pour another few of us in there. So when we're ready for one, I'll ask Athena to do the old reach around for me.
There we go.
Okay, moving on to our main subjects of the day. Today we're going to do a little travel stories for you. We had mentioned last time in our pilot that Joe and I spend a lot of time traveling, and I've had a lot of people tell me people need to hear my stories and our stories, and so we'll go. But we're going to start off with something that most travelers do religiously is keep track of points and hotel, credit card, airlines.
And our nickname, we're Point Horse. I mean, you really have to be. I mean, you're away from your family, and you need to maximize what you're doing out on the road. So then, when you sacrifice all this, you can use that to take them on trips. Use your airline miles, use your hotel points, and you can go to some pretty great places. So
Airlines.
Yeah.
What's your favorite airline?
Delta,
All the
all
way.
day, every day.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, just the airline or for the points?
Well, Joe and I both have
Yeah, we
the
do.
Amex card
Yep.
for
Okay.
Delta Platinum.
Yep, we have the platinum. I have the gold too, but I just got the gold so I could get some more miles.
Delta's changed their whole point system this year, pissed a lot of people off, and
Yeah. I don't
they
know
had
if
to
I like it.
backtrack. Yeah, so now you don't get miles don't count. It's all dollars. How
Yep.
much you spend, but they've done a couple things with the Amex cards where they'll give you, I think for every card you have, you get $2,500 towards your status. So if you have two cards like Joe, I think she's already silver because of that. But yeah, Delta, I've tried, and we're not here promoting Delta by
No.
any stretch of the imagination.
No,
No.
but if Delta would like us to sponsor them.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, Delta hotel wise, what do you hotel?
I right now for the past couple of years I've been all Hilton, but I really like Hilton, but I also a lot of people won't agree with me, but I like IHG. I think that their bonus program is really good. That's the Holiday Inn brand.
Crown Plaza, Intercontinental.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I like those. They have some really great properties. I like their bonus program too. I have 1,000,000 miles with both of them, or points, not miles. I have 1,000,000 points with each of them.
Why are we not doing some on-location travel with your points?
I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should.
I don't have that many points.
Well, you use yours. I mean...
Well, I got to take care of the wife. And
I can't get my missus to go
and,
with me, so...
But I'm a Hilton snob.
Okay. Yep.
Although I do have an IHG credit card just to keep platinum status with them for perks. But, yeah. And then credit cards, we already said...
I have something.
Oh, good.
You have to watch me.
Okay, I'm watching you. You go.
You know, I don't travel as much as these two, you know, and when I do travel, I rarely get to go to a hotel because our facilities, actually, we own our own training facilities, which includes our hotels. So, but interestingly enough, when I do get to travel to other offices throughout the nation, I also like Hilton. I just need to figure out how to... I need to figure out how to get some rewards, but we're not allowed to have our own rewards program that coincides with our government discount rate on the hotels.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That'd be
There's
tough.
no way around that?
This is why I don't have great stories.
Oh, you have great stories.
Yes, you do.
Your
Yes, you do.
stories are just different than our stories.
They are different. And you hang out with us, so
I-
we all, like,
I
find
will
our way into trouble.
Vicariously through my friends. So, okay, credit card. What's your is it credit card in general or credit card that gives you the best points?
So I've learned to play the system.
Okay. Do
So
tell.
we have for work Flex Perks, which is, I think, a U.S. Bank credit card. And Eve and I both have Flex Perks cards, the same. Somehow we were able to tie our business cards and our personal cards together. So anything we do on those cards all go to the same points accumulation. And then playing the game. The nice thing about Hilton is I love the hotels. The bad thing about Hilton is it's a lot of points to stay and use them. So when we go to Columbus for Ohio State games and stuff to see the kids, what I'll do is actually pay for the hotel room because it's only 20,000 points on the Flex Perks and then transfer the points to pay the credit card bill.
Love it.
So it's
love
burning
it.
20,000 credit card points versus 40,000.
It was 60.
Yeah, some of them are 60.
Yeah, it was 60 when we went.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I made
Depending
her
on
pay for the gas.
Wow.
I paid for gas on the way home.
You dirty rat.
I put the wear and tear on my truck.
That is
Yeah,
a true
no shit.
statement. Damn it. Well, you were really great hauling all the stuff, so that was good.
And that trip home is where we came up with the podcast.
Yeah, it
Or
was.
you guys did. I was hungover.
It
I
was
think.
me. I was talking about how I think it would be fantastic. And then we started talking, and then
And here we are.
here we are.
Here we are.
What
Came
was
to
that,
fruition.
5 months ago?
I think
October?
Yeah.
Almost 5? That's
Somewhere
not
around there.
bad.
No, it's not.
We're getting a couple of recordings down. We're moving on. Well, that's
That-
pretty good. I really should set up rules.
Yes, Ryan. All right, so Ryan, what about you?
So I have 2 crazy hotel stories.
Okay, I'm ready.
So traveling to Mexico a lot for work back in 2010, 2011, we were in Ramos Arizpe.
Okay.
And there was a old American something hotel that got turned into a Hilton hotel, which was like a Homewood Suites or something. I don't remember exactly. But I do know is when we went to check in at the time, so I guess there's a couple things on this story. I found a coach's rate because Eve coaches, and it was called the MVP rate with Hilton. Put it in and showed up at the hotel, and somehow MVP got translated to VIP. And so they checked us in, and at the time, the hotel computers were down. So the girl checked me in on paper and gave me the key, go up to your room. I walk into the room, and there is a butt-naked woman with a towel wrapped around her head in the living room. And I thought, damn, this is VIP treatment or MVP treatment, you know? So I go back down and chatted with them, and they switched my room around for me.
Was this business or personal?
This was business.
Oh.
Well, then later that day, we're talking to the manager of the hotel, and I think there were 3 of us we staying at the hotel from our team, and then not very many other people because they had just opened. Well, then that night, we were getting ready to go to dinner, and the girls at the front desk said, our manager told us we were supposed to take you guys out tonight as VIPs. And I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Joe knows.
Dear Lord.
This
Joe knows
is
that feeling.
Oh, dear Lord.
So, needless to say, the young ladies were very cool, still friends with them. And that was when they were telling us this story, that their manager thought when they saw the MVP rate that we were VIPs coming in on business travel. So they took us out to some clubs and nice restaurant. And yeah, that was kind of cool.
Nice.
That's really nice.
But I got one more story I got to tell you.
Ready.
And this one was going back when Eve and I were dating.
Okay.
So we were meeting. I was in Chicago. Eve was in Indianapolis. And we were meeting halfway. I think it was before Thanksgiving. I had to hand the cat off or something. I don't remember exactly.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah. There actually was a cat, but yes. So I go to the hotel. Eve had been there for a while. I was late getting out of work. And, they're like, go to room 251 or whatever it was. So I go on up, swipe the key to get in, and the lock's on the door. And I'm like, hey, let me in, you know. And all of a sudden, this naked guy comes walking to the door, leaning around, and he's like, what do you want? It's like, wait a minute.
Wait. Your electronic card opened the door? It was the door bolt lock?
Yes.
Oh.
Was latched.
Oh, what was Eve up to?
That's what the
Right?
front desk thought.
Oh.
So I go down to the front desk, and I said, I think you guys gave me the wrong room because there were people having sex in my room. Well, the next thing I know, she gets on the phone. Security, can you come down to the front desk? Security walks me up to this room to knock on the door to get in. And the guy and his woman both came to the door. At this time, they were clothed because I'm sure I
Darn
interrupted
Yeah,
something.
busted them. Sounds like they did something.
So the lady, we go back down to the front. I'm like, that's not my fiance, and that's not the room, evidently. And she goes, oh, I'm sorry. I meant to give you room 215, not 251.
Oh.
So then, so
that happens
was a little,
more than you know.
Oh my gosh. Going
Yeah.
in like
In
getting
the rooms that there are people already in there. Oh, yeah. So, note to self. When you get in your room, if you don't want anybody coming in, latch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, always latch
public
it.
safety notice.
Yeah.
Or-
Wow.
Of course,
'Cause
you
it
can watch
happens.
enough videos and learn how to undo that latch if you really wanted. But
I-
as long as
it's
you're
true.
an innocent traveler, like the majority of us are, it would stop you from getting into.
yeah.
Wow.
I know.
I'm not completely without travels, but I've never encountered the wrong room.
Really?
I've never.
Ooh, just
Yeah.
wait. It'll happen.
Nor have I been in my room when somebody else. So
It's a
Either way.
surprise.
oh,
Yeah.
It is.
I bet.
Yeah.
Do you get a free room and points on your credit card for your travels in the future, or what? What is the hotel?
It just
How does the
depends.
hotel respond?
Yeah.
It depends on the hotel.
It
Does it?
does.
I think that was like a days in or something, so it wasn't.
Yeah,
a
you
very
got nothing.
high
They were
end.
like, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
back in your college days, right? Because you and Eve are
It
pretty
was
young couple when you were engaged.
I think we were both graduated, or I was at had my last quarter doing an internship when that happened. So
Look at you, living the cheap life back in the 20s.
yeah,
In your 20s.
yeah, like yesterday.
Well,
Okay.
all right,
Any
well-
other crazy hotel stories, or are we moving on to the next one?
My craziest hotel story was the time that we found. So Sarah and I were not traveling. We just lost power here in town and had to go stay at a hotel because we didn't have any heat a few days before Christmas. Of course, the rest of the town also was staying at hotels because they didn't have power. So we ended up at a Motel 6 because that was what was available. Not my preference, not at all my choice, but it was better than the 20-degree house that was happening here. So we go in there. Yep, Motel 6. No, didn't take our shoes off. Look behind the bed, because we were curious, and there was a couple of plastic paraphernalias back there. I did recognize, those teeth that you stick in your kid's mouth when they're Dracula.
Oh, no.
Yeah. No, we're talking about Christmas, not Halloween time. So,
Oh, wow.
that's the weirdest hotel story that I have. Everything else has been, I'm a lucky traveler.
Yes, you are.
What
So-
about, oh, sorry.
Go ahead. You're
Yeah.
good.
No, I was going to say, have you guys met anybody famous while you're out on the road?
Do you want to go first, or you want me to
No,
go?
you go.
Yeah, so two stories there. A couple years ago, we were in Cleveland, Tennessee, outside of Chattanooga, staying at the hotel there for a business trip. And we were there for a couple weeks. One day, watching football in the lobby. A reach around, please. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. Just pass
Sorry,
it down
Ryan.
there, pal.
Yeah, hand it over. The reach around is for the whiskey, by the way, for the listeners, not the seers. Anyway, so we're sitting at the hotel watching football in the lobby area, and the guy running the front desk comes over, and he's talking to the lady sitting at the table with me on the other side, her and her husband, kids, and he's like whispering something in her ear, and I thought, this is just creepy shit. I don't know what's going on, but anyways, so he walks away and she's like, that guy's a Bigfoot hunter. I'm like, Sasquatch? She's like, yeah, he wants to show us his stuff. And I'm like, okay. So anyways, he comes back out, and he may be into some conspiracy theory type stuff. I mean, if he's a Bigfoot hunter.
Exactly.
What, you don't believe in the Yeti?
I have yet to encounter this Yeti thing, other than the cup that sits on my desk.
You don't spend enough time in the north.
So anyways, so the guy comes over, and he goes, tomorrow I'm going to bring in my stuff and show you. I've got a casting and of the footprint. He had some other fictional character casting. I don't remember what it was called. But
Loch Ness Monster.
so, yeah. He brings in this suitcase, handcuffed to him kind of thing.
Really?
And he goes, I must tell you I am packing. And I was like, what the hell?
What year was this?
This was like 2 years ago.
Oh my God.
So he opens his vest up. He's got his little sidearm in there to protect his castings that he's about to show us, along with two binders that are about 6 inches thick of paperwork, including TV show contracts and cease and desist letters from the government, that he's trying to persuade us that this is that he's got this knowledge that the government's trying to hide from all of us. So he gets out his briefcase, opens it up, and lets John and I hold his footprint, of this casting. But then the story, I don't know. You can watch this if you go on Google. The guy's name's Daryl, and come to find out, he was the Bigfoot in the Progressive TV commercials back when Bigfoot was doing them. I don't know if you remember that. You can look him up on YouTube.
It sounds familiar.
He was with Flo and Daryl, the Bigfoot, and he's like,
Interesting.
but I'm not Bigfoot. My name's Daryl.
My name's Daryl.
Kind of says they're sitting around the. Anyways, so that was my my Daryl story of the Bigfoot. He
like
offered to take us Bigfoot hunting and some other things, but
Did you go?
no.
No.
I don't want to be in a car with this guy. I don't want to be.
Did he smell?
No, he was just
Good.
we'll post a couple pictures on our website. I got pictures
Sounds
with
good.
him and the casting. So
It's on therocks.com.
yeah, it'll be coming soon.
Yep.
But we'll let Joe go. What do you got, Joe?
Yeah.
We'll switch back and forth here. Was that a little stronger the second time through?
Yes, it was. Holy moly. It was good, though. But whoa.
Got nostril flare.
So
Or should I go on to my
you
next?
should.
Athena, you have any famous people?
I honestly, like, it's funny that you guys kind of picked this for one of our subtopics, because it was one of those the icebreaker activities when you're meeting new people at work or through work or something like that, and the icebreaker was to go around and talk about the most famous person that you've met, and I draw a blank. So either I haven't met anybody famous, like, to the extent of what I think other people would think of as famous, or I forgot all about it, so it wasn't that important. So I'll toss it back to Jo, because I'm sure she's got a great one.
Well,
actually, I know she met somebody famous recently, so.
In famous is definitely, I think it's subjective, right? So, you might think of, oh, Joe saw Miley Cyrus at the Detroit airport and took a picture. Great, but we didn't talk. But for me, one of the coolest people I've ever met, his name is Kevin Sanders, and he's the barrel man. He's a barrel master for Jack Daniels. And I was in Louisville, and I was visiting my friend. He was, running a hotel at the Omni downtown. And I was bellied up at the bar, because I'm always bellied up at the bar. And so I see this guy down the bar, and he's in, bib overalls, and he's kind of got like he's got a t-shirt on, he's got a flannel. And I'm like, I gotta meet this guy. So I jump down a few seats, and I start talking to him, and he's just really cool, and find out what he does and who he is. And he gave me his business card, and I'll put a picture on the website, but it's this silver, and it's got a number 7, and it's metal, and it's really cool. And he was just telling us stories, and we were talking, and he was just one of the nicest people I have met. And he's good at what he does, and he's on the internet, and he's got YouTubes and Facebook, and I mean he's famous, in my opinion, right? I'm not on YouTube, or so he's just a really interesting guy. So Kevin Sanders, the barrel man, and it was really neat to meet him.
I had a similar encounter. We were in Columbus for one of the Ohio State games, and walking around with the kids before the game, and came across the Yellowstone Distillery bus. Nice. And walked over, and Stephen Beam was sitting out there with his 2 big fluffy white dogs, like beautiful dogs. Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I think that's him. So we walked over. It was before any of the tailgates started, and he was just sitting out there chilling in his motorhome, and chatted with him for a couple minutes, and told him we were from Michigan. And he actually was coming to Michigan on that Tuesday. That was Saturday. Tuesday he was coming to Smitty's in Easttown.
That's right.
So walked in, fast forward to Tuesday, I walked in, and he's like, "Oh, Mr. Buckeye." Like, he remembered me, it was 3 days, but
Hey,
it was good. I mean,
yeah.
It seemed like he was such a nice guy, laid back, easy to talk to. And
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that about the whiskey fame, right? Like, I don't know those 2 guys, and I love that you guys got to meet them, learn more about them, hear about them, probably walk away from meeting them, look them up, and just, I think it's so cool.
Yeah.
And then they do remember meeting you.
yeah,
Buckeye guy.
Buckeye guy.
You are.
But I will tell you who doesn't remember me that I met.
Okay.
Taylor Swift.
Oh my God, I love her.
Well, I got a story about that too.
She's a good human.
Hashtag Taylor Swift.
So I'll do this. This is off topic, but Eve and I were in Nashville, And she was convinced that Taylor Swift was in the elevator with us when we were going. This is quite a few years ago, back in the early country days of Taylor Swift.
Oh, still country.
And I'm like, there is no way. This chick in the elevator was a lot shorter than what, I may have studied a little bit about Taylor Swift to know that she was taller. But she was at the coffee house, and Eve was like, so we're like snapping selfies, trying to take pictures of her. But then we get in the elevator, and the girl followed us up. And I'm like, there is no way that's Taylor Swift. But I'm pretty confident it was not Taylor Swift. But she was very similar looking, and Eve was convinced. So.
Well, one of these days we'll have Eve on, and we'll
Yep.
ask Eve how convinced. No.
Right?
That's right. That's right. So how are we doing? What do we got time? We got another...
We're at about 44 minutes. We have
Okay.
15. I think
All
we're
right.
doing good.
Yeah, we are doing good.
You got one more?
I have one more. It's kind of like a twofer, right? So I met this guy. His name is Charlie Jones, and I met him at a food safety conference, and I don't know. We just hit it off. He's one of the most amazing humans I've ever met, and we're pals. I mean, we're good friends. And he used to be an Arizona Diamondback pitcher. I got his baseball card, and I made him sign it. He's like, "Oh, Joe." But we hang out quite a bit. He lives in Denver. So he brought me to a Nuggets game when they were...
Chicken nuggets?
No, Denver Nuggets.
Oh, Denver
Denver
Nuggets.
Nuggets. The Nuggies. So
Okay.
we went to a game, and we met some really great people there. But right in front of me was... I feel so sorry for them because, I'm inexperienced. And so these guys were sitting in front of me.
And experience.
Yeah.
An experience.
That's one way to put it, Joe.
Yeah, I know. So there's this rapper, and he did the halftime show, but not at this particular game, but he was watching. And his name was Lane O. And he's very, very good. So hats off to him. Hashtag Lane-O. Lane-O Lang. But so he's sitting in front of me. I have a picture with him. And then his producer was sitting next to him. He's like this really tall guy. And I'll always ask permission, but I love to rub the guys with no hair. I love to rub their heads. So he let me rub his head. Go ahead.
No,
don't do
I'm
it.
not
Okay.
doing it.
No.
Yeah. No, but
I was going to say,
I
that's
know.
why I'm missing half my hair on
I know
top
you
of
are.
my head.
Well, I rubbed his head with Athena at the Rise game, and I thought he was gonna deck us. Did you see that? He
You snuck up on me from behind.
We did sneak up on you.
It's
but
like, holy shit, who's touching me?
who's touching my head? But so I got to meet.
It's like I'm a genie in the background.
You are.
What were you
You
hoping
are.
was going to...
No. But so I got to meet Charlie Jones. He's a pitcher. He brought me to a game for the Denver Nuggets, and I got to meet Lane-O. And he's fantastic. He's such a nice guy. So I met some
Did you ask him to rap for you when you met him?
I did not.
Because I could see you doing that.
I could, but I was really just wanting to touch that head.
Experience.
Yes.
It is an experience, everyone. I'm so sorry. All right, Ryan.
I got your
Okay.
hashtag. Hashtag Joe the Experience.
Oh.
Ooh.
Maybe that should be your podcast Instagram.
Yeah.
Joe
Yeah.
the Experience.
Yeah.
Joe the
See how we're
Experience.
building our enterprise.
Yes, we
Yeah.
are. Yes, we are. All right, you got one.
So I have another one.
Close it out.
Closing this subject out here. We were at a sales conference for one of our distributors, large distributor, I think South Carolina. And this has probably been a while. I don't know. Kids were younger, so 10, 15 years ago. And they always have, I don't know, some of you probably been to conferences, and they always have like events at night, performers, blah, blah, blah. Well, this particular distributor the year before had the B-52s play. And the year I was there, they had Foreigner.
Wow.
Now, when I was talking to our friends on the Kybercast the other night,
Shout out Kybercast.
shout out to the Kybercast, Mike and Joe, I think, and Michael and Joe. Anyways, now I forgot where I was going with that story. That's okay. Anyways, he said Foreigner, the cover band that does covers of themselves, because there's only one original member still left, I think, in the band from back in the day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I didn't think of it like that, but I thought that's actually kind of right, you know? So anyways, we get there, and my good friend John Culp that we discussed last, that got me into bourbon, was with me. And we get into this event. We're the first ones that walk into the conference center for the show. So we sit at the front table of the thing, and then we find out Foreigner's playing. So we had front row seats at this private event, about 1,000 people, 1,500 people, to watch Foreigner. I'll get some pictures up on that. Like, I have some newspaper, professional photography looking pictures up at the guitarist, the singer, blah, blah, blah. So fast forward to the next day, we're flying out. That was the closing event for the conference. Get to the airport, and holy shit, Foreigner's on my plane. They're all sitting in the waiting room.
Oh, wow.
And the one guitarist I started chatting with, and he goes, "You were at the front row of the show last night."
Wow.
So he remembered. And we chatted for a while, and come to find out he grew up in Columbus, and
yeah.
So that was kind of cool.
That is very cool.
So I was thinking about that, and then the other day it popped up that Foreigner is actually playing here in Grand Rapids. So I got Eli and I tickets to go see that.
That's fantastic.
I did not get front row tickets.
That's okay.
For that.
Not this time.
I think they're playing with Styx and John Waite or something like that. So
This should be a fun day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how are we doing here on time? We've got 10 minutes, so
Yeah. You guys want to hit the scariest stories?
yeah. Why don't you go first, Joe, on that one, since I've been talking a lot?
No, it's fine. So mine is a scary flight story.
Oh, I got one of those. Now.
Yeah,
There you
yeah.
go.
So it
I
was
think everybody's got one of those.
right. So it was early on in my travels. So gosh, I was probably like 25, 26. So we're talking 20 years ago. I'm aging myself. But I'm on this little propeller plane. So I had one row on the left, 2 rows on the right, probably 10 or 11 rows deep. So it was little. And I was going to West Virginia for a project. And we're getting into West Virginia, and it is bumpy. I mean, flying. I mean, it is bouncing. I mean, if I didn't have my seatbelt on, I would have hit the top of the plane. And all of a sudden, people start throwing up. And so...
People? Well, not just a person.
No, people. And so
you know it's bad if it's multiple.
It is.
Yeah,
So
no
I
kidding.
put my arms up over my ears. And I couldn't smell because I was getting over a cold.
Thank God.
I know, right? So, I mean, I think out of all of it, because we were circling around that, because West Virginia's got that big dome, so we're circling around trying to find a way to get in.
That would be a valley. If
That's
it goes
what I
down.
said, a valley.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, shut up.
I'm fucking with you.
It's okay. So, everybody was sick on the plane except for myself, the flight attendant, and another guy. So we finally get rerouted to Raleigh. So we're talking about in the middle of the night. So we land in Raleigh at like 1:30 in the morning. And our pilot, I'll never forget his name, Julian.
Oh, you couldn't forget that.
I know, Mr. Julian. So he comes out and he says, we've made it, blah, 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 blah. I was really hoping, and this is the worst part. He says, I didn't know if we were going to make it. And we're all looking at him. He's like, yeah, we came in on fumes. And so as a new flyer, I was like, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? So yeah, that was kind of it was really traumatic. it was a terrible flight, and the pilot didn't put us at ease, but, we made it safe and sound, and we bussed over to West Virginia, and yeah, I'm here to tell a story.
Yeah, that's my actual scariest story outside of the flight. Mm-hmm. And this one is a little
There's
longer.
more?
Oh my God. This one is
I have
terrible.
more too.
Oh, I bet you do.
So kids were small, so this is probably 18, 19 years ago. Mm-hmm. In St. Louis for work, for a project. And there's a little town outside of St. Louis called St. Charles. And I went in the cobblestone roads. It's a little historic town. And was sitting at this bar, pub, whatever, having dinner. Guy comes in, sits down next to me, starts talking about his mom, was going through cancer treatments and probably wasn't going to make it. And I mean, it was pretty touching conversation. Well, then a woman comes and sits on the other side of me. So I have him on the right, her on the left. And it becomes apparent that they know each other. And then it's like, wait, they're married. So I was offered to get up and move, and they're like, no, you're fine, whatever. So I was like, this is kind of weird. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was going down a swingers path pickup.
Me too.
Thing. No, it was fucking worse. So the guy looks at me and says, have you ever joined an organization with purpose?
Oh, God.
And I thought, oh, shit. Religious, I said, well, I'm a member of the Catholic Church. And he goes, no. I mean, an organization with real purpose. I was like, I'm pulling, I don't know. What do you got? Have you ever thought about joining the Ku Klux Klan?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh,
my
and
goodness.
That, right then, my whole body just, was in shock, right? And I looked at him and I go, you people still exist?
Right.
That was my, this is all pre, recent stuff.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. That guy got beat red, pounded the bar, and laid into me I can't even explain. So I'm shitting a brick at this point. Mm-hmm. And he gets up to go to the restroom. And the bartender had heard the whole thing. And he looked at me and said, get the hell out of here. Tabs on the house. Go back to your hotel. So I get up, run down this cobblestone road. It's probably a quarter mile, half mile. Get in the hotel room, lock the door, deadbolt. I'm freaking out.
Like teleporting.
Yeah.
If you could.
So I called Eve, I'm out of breath, filled her in on this story. And so fast forward to the next day, I got all my project stuff done back at the hotel, sitting down in the hot tub area in the pool, met an older couple, parents' age and it was Father's Day. So they were going to be heading to wine country and invited me to go along with them. How quickly I forget about the experience last night. And I called Eve and I said, hey, I'm going to go to wine country with this older couple I met from Wisconsin.
Sweet, older, safe people from Wisconsin.
And I had told them about the story from the night before. So as I'm on the phone with Eve, this couple's like, we promise we're not kidnapping him. We're not taking him to, to join the Klan or whatever it was. Eve's like, why in the hell would you get in a car with people you don't know after you just went through that? But I trusted them, So we had a great time. Went to wine country and they took care of me on Father's Day since I wasn't with the kids. And
Ryan, your story was just like this. And it was like, and I was like, oh no, who'd you get in a car with, Ryan? No. And you said, but it was fine.
Yeah, kind of anticlimactic at that point.
A little bit.
Man.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
So
That's still kind of fun, but my heart was racing.
That one was scared the shit out of me.
Yeah. I can see why.
Well, I'm glad you guys are here to tell your stories.
Thank you.
On that, I think we do need to wrap up our conversation for today. And stay tuned as we consider our topics and conversations, talk a little bit about whiskey, but mostly about life.
Yeah.
Thank you all for joining us
Thank
today
you.
as we took our second journey down this trail of It Starts With Whiskey. We look forward to seeing you guys next time. Thank you.
See you next
See ya.
time.